All right, folks, I laughed really hard when I saw this one earlier on Automotive News. 3 years in, Stellantis nurtures ex FCA brands. The subhead: only two of the seven FCA brands have increased US sales since 2020, but none of them has left the market, which some dealers feared might happen. Can you imagine, Dad? This is the same journalist, Vince Bond, who wrote the article about CarEdge in Automotive
Yes.
News. Can you imagine waking up and you work either at Stellantis corporate or one of their dealerships, and it's like, all right, guys, we're going to celebrate, guys and gals, we're going to
Yeah.
celebrate because none of our brands have left the market. And sales are down,
Yes.
at like 75% of our brands, but none of them are out of the market yet. So let's sell it. I mean, what? Like I,
That was like the nurtures part got me. Well, if you're nurturing things, then sales should be going up, not going down. It sounds like um, as much as they'd like to believe that they're helping these brands grow, everything they're doing is in the opposite direction. I mean, we know Jeep sales have fallen every year for the last 5 years.
which Stellantis
Okay.
brands had year over year sales gains? Can you name them? Which ones? They're not big movers, but which ones?
I can't name them. I have Maserati. Okay, instead of selling three, maybe they sold four. I don't know. Now I make that comment and I jest, and then Igor's going to tell me in here, no, Maserati's hot, but I don't care how hot Maserati gets. It's not a volume brand, and it never will be. So, yeah, Maserati was one. What was the other? I forget. Was it
Chrysler.
Chrysler?
Chrysler actually saw their U.S. sales increase. So it's Chrysler and Maserati are the bells of the ball over at Stellantis right now. If you're the executives running those brands, you're getting big bonus checks where everyone else is not. I mean, it's just ludicrous, man, what they've done
Yeah.
over at Stellantis.
Speaking of Ludacris, he's a hell of a rapper. We got to get him on the show one day. Yeah, because Ludacris shows up on here. Every time we say Ludacris, a picture of Ludacris should pop up.
I love it, Dad.
Fiat. Let's talk about Fiat. I think it said they sold. Was it 650 Fiats last year, or was it 560?
I'll pull it up on the screen. Give me a second.
Yeah.
It was 605.
605. But yet they haven't exited the market. That they found 605 people to actually buy one. That's staggering. I wonder
what's the average price of a Fiat? Maybe like 35,000, 40 grand.
Well, it should be like half of what it is, but that's besides the point. Yeah.
All right. So if I just do the math really quickly, so if they sold 605 at $40,000, which I can't imagine a Fiat actually being worth that much, that's $24 million in revenue. Wow.
Yeah, that's a reason to have Fiat here. That's a reason to say, hey, I want to have a Fiat dealership. 605 cars in a country of 330 million people. They haven't left the market. Really? You sell 605 cars and you don't think you've left the market, and now you're going to come out, you're only going to have one model. It's going to allegedly be an electric vehicle for about 35 grand. Yeah. Right. Because there's like a gazillion Americans lining up to get a Fiat electric vehicle. I mean, we just know they are.
Can I ask you a question? How do you get paid at a Fiat dealership right now? Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. Like, maybe you sell like 2 new cars a month at your, and so I guess you're a used car dealer. Actually, I just answered my own question. You're a used car dealer. Okay. You're a used car dealer if you're a Fiat
dealer. Well, I can't imagine there's any standalone Fiat dealerships left. So they're dueled up with one of their other fine products that isn't selling. And so when one sells. It's you're not making a living off of Fiat.
Yeah.
Fiat's not making a living off of Fiat. So it just amazes me that you would even suggest somewhere in that article that somebody's doing a good job at Stellantis. I mean, they're
Nurturing.
so excited and they're so proud of themselves for going more upscale with Jeep and with the Grand Wagoneer and it doesn't sell. It's $110,000. It doesn't sell. Nobody wants it. So I mean, how can you even put in the article like they've done something positive? Yeah, they came out with a vehicle that nobody wants. Oh my, it's like, what are the rewards for that?
All right, Honda's turn in the hot seat,
Yeah,
literally. Honda HRV defroster button can shatter glass. American Honda has said it has discovered a manufacturing issue that lets glass sealant touch the heating elements, creating a weak hotspot, but no recall. I was shocked when I read this, Dad. Motor Trend dubbed it a self destruct function on the
yes.
Honda HRV. Hundreds of HRV owners have complained to the federal safety regulators, that their vehicle's rear defroster is causing glass to shatter. Consumer Reports said the HRV it brought in for testing experienced the problem when using the remote start feature on a cold morning in New England. Nobody was injured and the cargo in the rear wasn't damaged, the publication said, but our tester had to clean up glass shards from his driveway and the contents of the cargo area were no longer secure from weather and theft. The really got to be kidding me here is that there is no recall on this.
Yeah,
What are
I
they
mean,
doing?
what Yeah, why wouldn't there be a recall? I mean, if there's not a lot of things that sound like a safety issue, but I don't know if you have, let's say you're a young couple, and you bought the HRV because it's a relatively inexpensive, cutie little sport utility type of thing, and you've got two children, one aged 3 and one aged 1, and I don't know, they're in car seats in the back seat. Last time I checked, the closest thing to the back seat is the rear window, and that would be where that rear window defroster would be. So, how could that possibly be a safety issue that you might want to recall the vehicles over when, I don't know, that explodes, shatters, and I don't know, cuts the hell out of the kids? I mean, it is what defines a problem that would make it a recall is beyond me. If you take something like that, you say, well, you put it on your rear window defroster, and not only will it defrost the window, it'll shatter the window. That seems like something that's worthy of a recall, especially if I was the consumer that owned the damn thing. I'm not paying for that glass,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
not that I want to be the guy that goes into the dealership and says, well, what do you mean they're not paying to replace it? When can I talk to the factory service rep? When will he be in the area? Just let me know when he'd like to take care of it out of their goodwill account if they don't want to utilize a recall.
This one was
Um,
shocking to me, Dad. I don't get it. I don't get why there's
yeah,
not a recall. Is it because it's a Honda? Is it because it hasn't happened enough? I mean, it's happened enough that there are people complaining about it. And imagine being on the other side of that, like you're describing. That sucks, man.
yeah.
You
I,
literally
I
turn on the rear defroster and the glass cracks like what?
Yeah, yeah. But no, I wouldn't be in on that. And if the glass doesn't like just shatter and fall out, it will when you close the tailgate again.
Yeah.
So that just made the tailgate non-usable. I mean, they're just it all goes back to one of my favorite things is why is it so hard to do the right thing, whether you're a corporation or an individual. You've got an issue, Honda does with this, take care of it. Just step up and take care of it.
2 months ago,
Yeah.
GM still planning to end gas powered vehicle sales by 2035. 21 hours ago, GM will bring plug in hybrids back to North America in strategy ship.
Yeah, well, that's the wonderful thing about strategy. It is, may I say, apparently manufacturing is no different than being the coach of a sports team. And what I mean by that is if you can't figure out how to do in-game adjustments for a sports team, well, typically your team's not going to win. And if you're a manufacturer, if you can't figure out how to make in-game adjustments, um, to change some of your manufacturing strategies, you're not going to win. So it makes perfect sense that they're going, think we went too far in one direction. Time to circle the wagons and maybe head back. And that's what they're doing. Bless their hearts for that.
We don't, the condemnation of like, really, you got to be kidding me, is not for the strategy shift. The condemnation is like, do we actually think that by 2035, because just 2 months ago, that article on Reuters was updated saying, yes, by 2035, it's going to be all electric vehicles. And then obviously, like, they're trying to make money and they're still trying to hit the EPA guidelines and things like that. But like, look, Toyota has proven without a doubt, there's no question that hybrid is the powertrain of choice for the mass market today. And it's selling off the shelves. Other OEMs, I bet, have similar announcements to this over the coming weeks and months. To me, that's the really, you got to be kidding me. It's like anything in life, man. We all kind of oscillate too far on the extremes, and like we're moderating right now. We're coming back to the middle.
We're making some in-game adjustments.
Adjustments.
We were General Motors was the San Francisco 49ers in the first half. Okay? They were getting their asses handed to them. They made some in-game adjustments at halftime. What happened? They came back. The 49ers came back and they won the game because they made some in-game adjustments. And maybe because the Detroit coach is afraid of field goals. But having said that, but the point is that you have to make these in-game adjustments, because if you don't, that means you're just stuck where you're at. And you can't afford to be stuck where you're at. If you can't figure out how to adapt and change, you're dead. You're just dead, whether it be in sports or business. So, yeah, they made an in-game adjustment at halftime, and they said, we need hybrids, damn it. And they do, and that'll help them get to where they want to go.
All right, Dad. Well, from time to time, we see some interesting things on out-the-door price worksheets from car dealers. I know I showed this one to you before the show. I'm going to show it to you again here. I posted this over on X. This comes from a dealer in Maryland. They've added on a 2024 Nissan Altima a line item. I know it's blurry and hard to read, but it says 2% sales commission, not required by law. Yeah.
You have heard me say any number of times that automobile dealership personnel are some of the most creative people on the planet. Okay, they can come up with stuff that, well, you and I could only dream about. Desert protection packages. The dealership in Florida that charged the Florida Friends and Family package, $1,995. And as I said, I don't have any friends or family in Florida.
Yeah.
For a dealer to come up with this concept of making it a line item, okay, that, well, there's going to be a 2% sales commission. We're going to charge you for it. Well, wait a second. I thought the dealership paid the salesperson, not me. Now, is it like my DoorDash driver? Are you asking me to tip him? Is that what you're doing? And you're suggesting that my tip to him should be 2% of the selling price? Is that really what you're suggesting? Or are you suggesting that I should pay that 2% and you're going to add it to his or her commission when they get, because I doubt you're going to do that. I've worked at enough dealerships to know you ain't going to do that. You're not going to give that $575 to the salesperson.
Yeah.
That's not going to. So I mean that it is incredible to me as to exactly how creative these people can be to come up with new and varied ways to charge you extra money, and they hope that you don't say no. I mean, because that's the hope.
Yeah, exactly. The hope there is, oh, I have to pay a 2% sales commission. Okay. It's like, I've never seen that. We've been doing this a while. I've never seen that one. Never seen that one. I had to put that on the internet and get some input. Like, is this a normal thing and we just haven't seen it?